When it comes to feuding with fellow celebrities, Miley Cyrus can't stop and won't stop. From exes to other musicians to family members, here's who this outspoken pop star has been beefing with. In January 2023, Miley Cyrus announced the release of Flowers, a new song about heartbreak due for release on the birthday of her ex-husband, Liam Hemsworth. Suffice it to say, it would appear she still has beef with him. The former couple had been in an on-and-off relationship for a decade before they tied the knot in December 2018. But by the following August, they were separated. And by January 2020, they were already divorced. It appears they didn't exactly end it on good terms, considering all the times that Cyrus has since thrown shade at her ex. For example, in 2019, she seemingly dissed him on Instagram Live while praising her then-boyfriend Cody Simpson. While talking about how she'd come to realize that good men actually exist, she suggested that her new beau was the only good one she'd met so far. As she put it, "I thought all guys were evil." Then, during a 2020 appearance on The Howard Stern Show, Cyrus discussed her short-lived marriage as she revealed, "There was too much conflict. I don't get off on drama or fighting." And during a December 2020 interview with Rolling Stone, she explained, "I was playing house, which felt really good at the time. It looked like I was living some fairy tale. It really wasn't."
I had this plan, and I guess we all know the saying that, when we plan, life kind of laughs in our face and says this is what's really going to happen.
Miley Cyrus's beef with Nicki Minaj might be her most famous, since it was played out on national TV. The dispute seemed to originate from Minaj's frustration that her music videos for Anaconda and Feelin' Myself weren't nominated for Video of the Year at the 2015 MTV Video Music Awards, as she had tweeted, "If your video celebrates women with very slim bodies, you will be nominated for Vid of the Year." When the New York Times asked Cyrus, who was hosting the VMAs that year, what she thought about Minaj's comments, she responded, "What I read sounded very Nicki Minaj." Which, if you know Nicki Minaj, is not too kind, it's not very polite. Then, when Minaj accepted the trophy for Best Hip-Hop Video during the VMA ceremony, she used part of her speech to announce, "And now, back to this who had a lot to say about me the other day in the press. Miley, what's good?" Cyrus then responded, "We all do interviews. We all know how they manipulate. Congratulations, Nicki." And that wasn't the end of the story, as Cyrus's 2019 track Catitude contained the lyrics, "I love you, Nicki, but I listen to Cardi." Meanwhile, Minaj fired back during an episode of her Queen radio show as she claimed that Cyrus was simply dragging her name for clout. Miley Cyrus and Selena Gomez may have been Disney Channel stars at the same time, but that didn't stop them from beefing. It all reportedly started over a boy, none other than fellow Disney Channel star Nick Jonas, who Cyrus first dated in 2006. After their 2007 split, Jonas quickly moved on with Gomez. That may have not gone down too well with his ex, who posted a parody video on YouTube of a vlog Gomez had done with Demi Lovato. Fast forward to 2014, when Cyrus dedicated her song F You to Gomez at a concert while throwing a cardboard cutout of her off the stage. 2 years later, Gomez addressed the feud with W Magazine, as she noted, "I'm a fan of her music. I don't know if she'd say that about me." She also denied that there was really ever any beef between them, as she explained, "We both liked the same guy when we were 16. We are now completely settled in our own lives." By 2019, Cyrus seemed like she was over it as well. She similarly denied that there was ever an issue during a radio interview on Capitol Breakfast. And then, in May 2022, Gomez showed off an affectionate impression of her friend while hosting Saturday Night Live.
"Hell yeah, I'm Miley Cyrus."
Miley Cyrus may have been friends with Taylor Swift in 2009 when they sang together at that year's Grammy Awards, but it appears that some love was lost between them since then. In 2015, Swift was touring her hit album 1989, while Cyrus was promoting her album Miley Cyrus and Her Dead Pets. This was also the period when Swift had her infamous girl squad that consisted of the likes of Gigi Hadid, Cara Delevingne, Selena Gomez, and Haley Steinfeld. Evidently, Cyrus was not among the crew, and she apparently had no interest in joining. As she put it to the New York Times in August 2015, "I'm not trying to be in the squad. None of my friends are famous, and not because of any other reason than I just like people who are living real lives because I'm inspired by them." And during an interview with Marie Claire that same year, Cyrus took issue with Swift's combative music video for Bad Blood, which was allegedly a diss track directed at Katy Perry. As Cyrus put it, I don't get the violence revenge thing. That's supposed to be a good example, and I'm a bad role model because I'm running around with my out. I'm not sure how are worse than guns. Miley Cyrus's falling out with Katy Perry didn't last long, but it was dramatic enough to make headlines in 2014. The feud apparently began after the two locked lips for a kiss cam when Perry attended one of Cyrus's concerts. But what started as a sweet moment later took a bit of a turn. During an appearance on the Australian morning talk show Sunrise, Perry revealed, "I just walked up to her to give her like a friendly girly kiss, you know, as us girls do, and then she tried to move her head and go deeper and I pulled away. God knows where that tongue has been. We don't know." Cyrus then took to social media to fire back by bringing up Perry's past relationship with John Mayer, as she tweeted, "Girl, if you're worried about where tongues have been, good thing your ex-boo is your ex-boo, 'cause we all know where that tongue been." For anyone who's unfamiliar, Mayer has been romantically linked to many other women before he dated Perry. Still, there's a good chance that this beef was fairly lighthearted all around, especially since Cyrus also tweeted an illustration of herself and Perry kissing. Perry then played along as she replied, "Ooh, girl, I'm gonna give you the biggest spanking when I see you in the UK."
The Miley thing, by the way, I love her so much.
Miley Cyrus's relationship with her father, Ray Cyrus, has reportedly been a little rocky. In 2022, the U.S. Sun reported that the two had experienced a falling out after he and Miley's mom, Tish Cyrus, divorced earlier that year. As a source claimed, Miley didn't agree with some things that her father has done. It has really escalated, and they are not on good terms. There were words exchanged. Neither of them is particularly eager to make amends right now without an apology. Another insider suggested to E! News that Miley had grown closer to her mom during the divorce, which put tension on her relationship with her dad. Billy Ray's relationship with his then-fiancée, Fire Rose, may have also complicated things. Apparently, Miley didn't publicly acknowledge the engagement. As a source claimed to Radar, Miley was already shocked and appalled that Billy Ray and Fire Rose were hooking up, so now that he stuck a ring on this gal's finger, it's a step beyond and a real kick in the teeth. While Miley hasn't publicly commented on any of this, Billy Ray did acknowledge that the divorce caused issues with his kids. However, he also downplayed the problems, telling People magazine, "Everyone knew that relationship was over a long time ago. It's been a lot, but everyone knew that it was time for a change." Back in 2021, Miley Cyrus was working with Pete Davidson on NBC's New Year's Eve special and may have caught feelings for him, or at least she pretended that she did. This was a bit of a potential issue, as he was dating Kim Kardashian at the same time. Some observers even believed that Cyrus made a ploy for Davidson when she sang "It Should Have Been Me" to him on The Tonight Show, as she poked fun at his headline-making dates with Kardashian.
You'll be funny and I'll be naked and together we got a show.
Cyrus was probably just joking around, and Davidson's uncontrollable giggles certainly seemed to indicate as much. Still, there's a chance that Kardashian didn't exactly see the funny side, as she reportedly unfollowed Cyrus on Instagram. While neither star ever confirmed that there was any beef, Cyrus may have made her feelings known about Kardashian years earlier. Back in 2016, she commented on Kardashian's then feud with Chloe Grace Moretz and Bette Midler, seemingly responding to the controversy surrounding Kardashian's nude photos. Cyrus took to Instagram to write, "Dear women, you are all acting tacky AF. Can we all put the cattiness aside for one day and love and celebrate one another?" Miley Cyrus also got into a bit of a tiff with English singer-songwriter Ed Sheeran, but she might have had a good reason. During a 2013 interview with The Mirror, he called her out by saying, "I just think she's packaged the wrong way. When I first heard Wrecking Ball, I thought it was a brilliant song, but the video distracts too much from it. That wasn't even the worst part though," as Sheeran also said, "I think encouraging young people to twerk might be a bad thing. It's a stripper's move." It appears Cyrus got wind of his comments because at the next year's Video Music Awards, she was caught on camera calling him an when he took the stage. For his part, Sheeran walked right by Cyrus only to high-five music executive Scooter Braun, who was sitting next to her. When he later stopped by On Air with Ryan Seacrest, he explained, "Well, I don't know why people were expecting that high five. I've never met her." Eventually, Sheeran became more apologetic, telling The Sun, "I was a bit of a I do feel bad about it, as I'd be livid if someone said that about me." But Cyrus may have still been a little salty. During a 2017 interview with Billboard, she threw more shade his way when she was asked whether her album had a singer-songwriter vibe, as she responded, "Yeah, but not granola. I don't listen to Ed Sheeran and John Mayer and stuff." Miley Cyrus definitely had a war of words with Sinead O'Connor in 2013. The Irish singer-songwriter had written Cyrus an open letter expressing her concern about her controversial image after the music video for Wrecking Ball was compared with hers for Nothing Compares to You. O'Connor warned against the dangers of music industry exploitation, as she wrote via The Hollywood Reporter, "You will obscure your talent by allowing yourself to be pimped, whether it's the music business or yourself doing the pimping." While O'Connor may have believed she was helping, Cyrus didn't take it that way. She shared screenshots of tweets where O'Connor had asked for emergency help in treating her mental illness, while also writing, "Before Amanda Bynes, there was..." O'Connor then wrote another open letter that took Cyrus to task for ridiculing mental health issues and for dragging Bynes into the joke. But Cyrus wasn't in the mood to hear it, as she tweeted back, "Sinead, I don't have time to write you an open letter because I'm hosting and performing on SNL this week."
I think the important thing to say is that there's a certain alarm needs to get rung, and I know that a lot of musicians around the country and around the world will agree, music is being murdered.
That inspired a third letter from O'Connor demanding an apology, not just for herself but also to Bynes and everyone else with mental health issues. She also threatened legal action. Days later, Cyrus addressed the feud on the Today Show via MTV as she explained, "My thoughts if you want to know my thoughts. I think she's an incredible artist. I don't know how someone can start a fight with somebody that's saying, 'Hey, I really respect you.' That was kind of crazy." If you or someone you know needs help with mental health, please contact the Crisis Text Line by texting HOME to 741-741. Call the National Alliance on Mental Illness Helpline at 1-800-950-NAMI 6264 or visit the National Institute of Mental Health website.